I was in the process of redoing my coolant crossover seals and then decided to take the valve cover off. And in order to do that, I needed to release my power steering high pressure line. And since it's leaking, I'm going to go ahead and change that out. So I'll tell you what I did. I used one of these baby snot pullers and got as much fluid out of here as I could, because when I took this off it started leaking. So it's a good idea to have a rag to put under this, because I got power steering fluid on my belt. That's not good. And it's good to have some rags down in here too, because this starts overflowing right away. So I went ahead and started siphoning it out with this. There's probably a better way to do it, but anyway, what I found is when I squeeze this and put it down in there, if I put pressure on it while it's sucking up, I tend to get more fluid than if I don't press on it. Now apparently there's two clips that hold this fuel rail steady, and one of them is down here, so I'm going to release that 10mm nut on that. By the way, the top part connected to the reservoir, I used a 16 line wrench. Okay, I finally got it out. Also removed this that was on the line above it. I don't know if you can see it, but that's loose now and I can pull it off. Okay, I'm going to show you in a minute where that bottom connection is. Now, I tried this Great Neck line wrench or flare nut wrench on it originally, and it's just a terrible tool. It was skipping. I don't know if it's because I couldn't get it on there true, or but so I tried this one, which is a good tool, a Carlisle, but it's just too fat, and this edge here, let's see here, I can show you. This edge right here is too fat. It won't let you turn it. It runs into the other line. So I went to O'Reilly's and I bought 2 more wrenches. And the regular line wrench, and then the one that has the flex on it. And it was the flex one that enabled me to break it loose. Now, I didn't have enough strength to break it loose as is. One other note, it is a little bit longer, and that was helpful. So the way I was able to get it is I put this short water pipe on there first, and then about halfway, and then I put this metal pole inside of this water pipe here. So I'll put it together and show you. Now this pipe, I had to pound it to flatten it a little bit, so the wrench is in there about halfway, and then the smaller pipe's in about halfway. And the reason I had to use an intermediate pipe is because my regular pipe is too small for the end to get in. Now, even though this wrench broke it loose, it barely made it. It's loose up here, and it gives it about a 10-degree movement, and there's not much room to turn that nut before you run into the other stuff on the car. So after I got it broke loose, I had to use one of these other wrenches to turn it again, because it was the piece was not in the right place to get this to go on it, even though I flipped it. And then I also ended up using this stubby to come in from the side behind the tire, and I used that to get it fully off, but I'll show you. Okay, I'm sliding in here from the front of the car. This is the transmission pan. And what you gotta do is slide up past the pan, and you get to the crossbar here. And it's just past that. Now, okay. Let's see if I can see it here. Okay, hold on. Okay, there it is. So it's the left one you can see. And it came up from the bottom here, straight up, but you see how the other line is right next to it, and then you got that bolt. So it doesn't give you much leeway. And I came up from the left side with the stubby. Once I got it loose, it started draining, so I had something to catch that, and it's been sitting overnight, so now I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to tie an orange string to it. Probably don't need to, but I'm here by myself, and I just want to make sure I get this routed right. You can see where it comes down, and it goes and sits in there. I didn't find the other brace that holds it. I guess this just says one. So I'll take it out of there. Okay, got it out of there. Wasn't too bad. So I'll tie the string on there now. Okay, got string tied to it, so I'll get up top now and see if I can pull that through. Okay, I've got it here from the top. Let's see where it goes down. Let me try to work on this. Okay, I had to get under the car a few times to unhook it from getting caught on a few things, but I got it. So basically it goes straight down in there and then behind the rack and pinion, but I'll untie this, compare the old part with the new, and tie this string on the new one. Now, the protective plastic cover on here got in the way when I was pulling it up, so I just got under the car and pulled that all off. By the way, I did plug this end with something I had, because there was still quite a bit of oil in this line. Okay, here's the new part up against the old, and they're not exact, but they're pretty close. Looks like it'll work. Okay, it came with this bag of seals. So if you notice, the seal on the old one is right there at the end. So I'm supposed to coat these seals with a little bit of power steering fluid. I'm going to use silicone grease. I'm not sure what that yellow cap is for. It's too big for the end of the lines. Okay, I've got the O-rings on, and by the way, I got the part from Rock Auto, and there's the part number. Okay, I've put some blue tape on both ends to protect it, keep it clean, and I've got the string tied onto it. I'm also going to remove this plastic shield. I'll put it back on once I get it down in there. Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's see how this works. Okay, I pushed it in as far as I could. Now I'm going to pull this string. Let's see. and see if I can find it. Okay, I found it. Now I'm going to get back on top of the car to get it positioned right up there and pushed in a little more. Okay, here it is up here, so let's see if I can push it down in there. Okay, I got it pushed down in there. So this one is in the right spot. Now I will have to I'll have to clean this up and take this off of here and put it on the new one. Okay, this clamp holds it about 1/4 to 1/2 inch away from the valve, the head there, so hard to reproduce that. So I just washed the insulator with alcohol and I cut off all the really bad parts, and then I put electrical tape on the tubing, and then put the insulator on, and then I put electrical tape around the center of the insulator. So I think that'll work. Okay, I've got it situated in the right place again, and so now I'll get underneath. One thing I do want to mention is that I am in the process of removing the valve cover, and I did have the valve cover off. And I had removed the pin holding the wire harness on the engine there, so that does make it a little bit easier too. But I think taking the plastic protection cover off helps thread it through there too. Okay, I'm under the car, and there's the other end. So first thing is to put these back on and put it up in position. Okay, the string slipped on the other side of the sway bar, so this has gone on the wrong side of the sway bar. I mean, it's instead of being on the right, it should be on the left. And it still goes on top, and it is on top, but it needs to go on the left underneath the wire harness there. So I'm going to pull it back up from the top and get it threaded through on the left here. Okay, so I got it on the left side now and underneath that small harness. Okay, I got it through far enough. Now I can put the protector sleeve on and push it up in here. I got the protector sleeve started at the end, and it just slides right on. Now I'm just pushing it behind the sway bar. I've removed the string and taken the tape off. Make sure your washer is still there. Okay, I got it in the right spot. I took the blue tape off too soon, and I got dirt in there on the tip, so I had to clean everything out and clean the O-ring. But it's in the hole now, so no chance of it picking up dirt. Now I've got to get that hand threaded in. Okay, I think I got it hand threaded in a few threads. I just kept moving the pipe with my right hand upwards and jiggling it a little bit, and then with my left hand coming in from the tire side. There's not much room there, it's a tiny spot, but I got my left hand in there to turn the nut backwards until I felt like it was seating, then turn it clockwise, and after about 5 or 6 tries I finally got it. Now I'm going to take a stubby up there and slowly try to turn it on some more, make sure I don't have it cross-threaded. Alright, I think I got it tight enough. Alright, after I got it snugged up with the stubby, I used this coming up from the bottom. And this wrench isn't the best. You really need a really good wrench like Mac Tools or something, because this has some play in it, and there's not that much play up there once you get this on the bulge. You don't have much room. I think I got it tight enough, so we'll see if it leaks. If you don't hear any more from me, that means it worked. I'm gonna leave this loose up here until I get the valve cover back on. And then I'll show you how I finish it. Alright, I got the car running, and turning the steering wheel from side to side. And I'm just turning the steering wheel left to right, trying not to cramp it too much. And seems like it's working okay. I've done this about 5 times, so I just had the cap on there loosely. The fluid is dirty, so I'm sucking it out with this. Okay, I emptied it and filled it a couple different times while I was turning the steering wheel and getting the air out. I'll probably change out that fluid in the reservoir every week for the next 3 or 4 weeks, if I remember. So thank you all for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers. Click and subscribe, and I'll be putting out some more videos on this car.